Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more WWE 2k14 Universe Mode. I'm BrendenPlayz. Great to be with you guys once again as we continue to build towards WrestleMania. We are well and truly on the road to WrestleMania, only 4 weeks away. This week we have main event and Smackdown, so a lot of things are going to be happening on this week's show as we are continuing the aftermath of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. So let's get straight into it. Big E will face RVD, the United States Champion. Big E taking on RVD. Rusev versus Sandow. Of course, you go back, there was a #1 contender match on Smackdown where Sandow actually defeated Rusev to face off against Wade Barrett. Unfortunately, he was unsuccessful. And previous episode of Universe Mode, we saw Truth and Consequences. They took on Punjabi Cobra in the tag title tournament opportunity. Punjabi Cobra actually defeated Truth and Consequences, so they are out for some little bit of revenge. So will they get that here on main event? As we're going to see Big E and RVD. It is going to be Big E. He defeats RVD, the US champion, continuing his winning form. As R-Truth and Xavier Woods, Truth and Consequences, get their revenge against the Punjabi Cobra. Makes you wonder what would have been for that team if they actually had got the victory when it counted. And what about this man, Rusev? He's coming back in. He's entered the WWE frame here on Smackdown. We all thought he was going to be the next Intercontinental Champion, but he couldn't get past Damien Sandow to earn himself the opportunity to face off against Wade Barrett at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Perhaps if he gets a couple more victories here, he may get that opportunity at WrestleMania 30. So I think this guy could be one of the biggest threats to Wade Barrett's IC title reign, because he is just being destructive as of late. So David Sandow, he put up a good fight, but he was not quite good enough to beat Wade Barrett, which is not really discrediting him too much, because Wade Barrett has been so good. He's been beating everybody on SmackDown. There's been a lot of talk that he and Ryback should square off to kind of have a title versus title opportunity, but I don't know if Wade Barrett's quite ready for the world title picture yet. We'll have to wait and see how he goes in the next few months, but certainly as an Intercontinental Champion, he's been very, very impressive. But this man, Rusev, I think could be a big threat to the title if he does, in fact, get an opportunity. But he'll have to go through Sandow here first, and probably a couple more guys at that as well. So here we go. Rusev and Sandow kicking it off here on main event. And, of course, as I said in the last video, if you haven't already, check out the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Great show. And, of course, check out the previous episode as well, with a big bombshell being dropped on that episode. And we now know the first match of WrestleMania 30. So if you haven't already, go check it out. You can find that on my channel. So definitely recommend you guys do that. If you've been following Universe Mode, that's one episode you do not want to miss. So as we continue going on towards WrestleMania 30, now we need to find out who's going to face Ryback, the World Heavyweight Champion. That was something we discussed in the previous video as well. Now that Randy Orton's going to be taking on the WWE Champion Brock Lesnar, we don't know who's going to be taking on the World Heavyweight Champion Ryback, so perhaps we'll find that out in the next coming episodes of Universe Mode. And Sandow and Rusev, close back and forth battle here as Rusev just takes down Sandow. Uh-oh, Sandow could be in a bit of trouble. He might be looking for that Acolyte submission maneuver. As what's he going to be doing here? A couple of knees right to the midsection, taking him down. And uh-oh, Sandow is in trouble. Here we go. The Acolyte is locked straight in. Sandow's got nowhere to go. He's going to have to tap. And he does. Sandow taps out. That's it. Rusev with a dominant victory, knocking off Damien Sandow, getting a bit of revenge from what happened on the previous episode of Smackdown, where Rusev was not able to defeat Sandow to get himself an opportunity at the IC title. But he's only been around for a couple of weeks, Rusev, and he's been dominant. And will he be the next Intercontinental Champion? If he gets a couple more victories, I think he could be the next man in line to face Wade Barrett at WrestleMania 30. But I'm sure therell be some other guys chopping at the bit to get themselves a chance as well. So Rusev, great victory here. And a lot of you guys are actually saying we should bring in Lana as well. That's actually something I might do in the next couple of episodes. So if you guys want to see Lana accompanying Rusev, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. So, Rusev, does he deserve an opportunity at Wade Barrett's IC title? Let me know, and we could make it happen, but he's going to have to win a couple more matches for my liking to get himself an opportunity. So, we'll move on now to this week's Smackdown show. I gotta hand it to you, Ryback. You won. You won the Elimination Chamber match. You survived 5 other men to walk out as the World Heavyweight Champion. Well done. But Ryback, if you think I came back to SmackDown, you think I came back to the WWE just to have one more shot? Just to have one opportunity at the world title in a 6-man environment? Think again. I came back to the WWE to be the World Heavyweight Champion. You're keeping that title warm for me, and you may have survived one more night. But there's one night coming up in 4 weeks' time that you're not going to survive. At WrestleMania 30. You don't have an opponent. We know that. We saw that on Raw. Randy Orton's not facing you. So that means you're open for a challenge. So I'm going to challenge you, Ryback. Me and you. WrestleMania 30. World Heavyweight Championship. What's it going to be, Ryback? You're right. The big guy did survive the Elimination Chamber. The big guy did already beat you at the Elimination Chamber. I don't know what more I have to prove. The big guy is still the World Heavyweight Champion. And what? You want to face me at WrestleMania 30? I don't think you're on my level, Dave. You proved that at the Chamber. I don't think you can beat me one-on-one. So if you want to face me at WrestleMania 30, you're going to have to earn it. The big guy doesn't just accept challenges from a nobody like you, Dave. So why don't you go ahead, win a couple of matches, prove yourself. Are you serious, Ryback? I'm a 6-time world champion. I don't have to prove anything to you or to anybody else. I know how good I am. Well, I'm not gonna give you the match then, Dave. You can forget about it and go back home where you belong. Deal with it. So, Ryback wants Batista to prove himself before he faces him for the World Heavyweight Championship. Will Batista be able to do that? I don't know, but Batista believes he shouldn't have to. 6-time world champion, I probably agree with him. So this week's SmackDown will have the Tag Team Tournament qualifying matchup. The Primetime Players will face 3MB. The winners of that match will face the Punjabi Cobra in the second round of the tournament. Oksana will face Summer Rae one-on-one. Oksana, the new Divas champion. Summer Rae knocked off AJ Lee in the last episode of Raw. Jack Swagger will face Rey Mysterio. 2 guys I think could be in contention for that IC title, as we just discussed. International Airstrike will face off against Los Matadors. That'll be 2 teams that will be in part of that tag tournament, you would assume. Del Rio will face off against Ryback. 2 guys that were heavily a part of the Elimination Chamber. We thought Del Rio could actually surprise us all and win it. Del Rio probably the MVP of that Chamber match, to be honest. Batista, he'll face off against Mark Henry. If he can beat Henry, will that be enough to prove to Ryback that he deserves an opportunity? Of course, we'll play the tag team matchups for this week's episode of SmackDown. So Oksana knocks off Summer Rae. Swagger and Mysterio. It's Mysterio knocking off Swagger. Airstrike versus Matadors. Airstrike gets the win, so that'll do them confidence pretty good. Ryback, he defeats Del Rio, so certainly deserves to be world champion in that non-title bout. And Henry knocks off Batista. So Batista, no dice. He hasn't been able to get the big victory there. But I have no doubt that he'll come back strong, perhaps in the next episode of SmackDown. But I don't think that'll derail him too much. I don't think it'll worry him too much. But we know Batista, how good he is. 6-time world champion. I don't think he really needs to prove himself. He's back to kind of get an opportunity at the World Heavyweight Championship. He's back to prove to everybody that he deserves to be the World Heavyweight Champion one more time. Wasn't able to do it at the Elimination Chamber, and he came back to the Royal Rumble to achieve that goal. He wasn't able to do it at the Royal Rumble either. Maybe at WrestleMania. If not, well, I'm not exactly sure when Batista will get an opportunity, if he will. And 3MB, speaking of guys that haven't really had an opportunity, it's 3MB. I mean, this tag team has actually been winning quite a lot of matches in recent times. They've been flying on the radar. We haven't really seen too much of them in recent weeks. And, you know, we've never really given an opportunity for quite some time at the Tag Team Championships. We've never really taken them as serious, legitimate contenders, but I think it's now to really acknowledge that. Now they're a part of this Tag Team tournament, they have an opportunity. If they could beat the Primetime Players, they'll move on to Punjabi Cobra. If they beat Punjabi Cobra, then perhaps they'll be the next #1 contenders. Now, we have to remember, both these teams, former Tag Team champions. 3MB lost the titles at Money in the Bank to the Shield, and the Shield went on that huge Tag Team championship reign, only for it to end to the Primetime Players. Now they've regained it. Now they are a 2-time Tag Team champion on Universe Mode. So the Shield's certainly been the MVP of Tag Teams in Universe Mode, but Primetime Players in recent times, and as well as 3MB, have certainly been two strong contenders for the tag titles. And I think the PTP, they're out to prove themselves. They're going to have to earn their way to get themselves an opportunity at the tag titles. They probably feel as though, look, you know, we lost at the Elimination Chamber. It's time to give us another opportunity. I mean, the Shield, they had a rematch. I think we deserve a rematch. They're not going to get one. The Authority's not giving them a rematch. Paul Heyman has decided to book a tournament rather than just giving the Primetime Players a simple tag team opportunity. So, hey, I mean, call it what you want. Is it fair? Is it not? Well, I think the better tag team will win. If the Primetime Players are the best tag team in the WWE, they will win this tournament, and they will beat the Shield at WrestleMania 30. So I think it's a good decision. So the PTP, they want a rematch. They're going to have to earn their way to the rematch. And, of course, we had a TLC, Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, and potentially WrestleMania 30. This Shield versus Primetime Players saga has been going on for quite some time now, and perhaps we will see it really finish off and come to its grand heights at WrestleMania 30 if these two teams do in fact meet and face each other once again. I mean, that will be one hell of a match if it does in fact happen. But, Heath Slater takes down Titus O'Neil there. So, like I said, 3MB certainly could go away with a victory here. They haven't been heavily featured, but I think they've certainly been an underdog team. They've certainly come away with some sneaky wins. They've certainly been flying under the radar. Perhaps this is their best opportunity that they've had to get themselves a tag team opportunity. Tag team championship opportunity, I should say, as Titus O'Neil takes down Drew McIntyre. Now, we discussed on the previous episode of Universe Mode what exactly we're going to do with the title belts. So, Batista and Ryback, that could potentially happen at WrestleMania 30. Rusev and Barrett could potentially happen at WrestleMania 30. So, we've got a bit of a foundation set down for Smackdown now. We have a bit of an idea of what we could expect at WrestleMania 30. I mean, Batista getting set back there by Mark Henry. Perhaps we'll see Ryback and Mark Henry one more time. And, like I've said as well, maybe The Undertaker will be back. You know, we still haven't seen The Undertaker, despite, he was at the Elimination Chamber, he was taken out, and obviously still feeling the effects of that attack from whoever it was, Chris Jericho. So we don't exactly know what's going to be going on with The Undertaker there, so perhaps he may not be in contention for the world title. So there's a lot of things that could happen, but the signs are kind of pointing towards Batista, Ryback. We'll have to wait and see if Batista can, in fact, earn his way into the match. We don't know who's going to be the next SmackDown GM. We don't know exactly what's going on with the GM of SmackDown and who's running the show around here. We'd probably assumed that Triple H is running SmackDown this week, and he's probably trying to find a replacement. But since, of course, Randy Orton walked out on the Authority, it's pretty clear that Randy Orton's job is no more. He's no longer the GM of SmackDown, so we're going to find a new SmackDown GM. So we'll have to wait and see what exactly is going to be going on here with the Authority here on SmackDown. So we don't know who's going to make the matches. We don't exactly know who we can turn to, as there's the fireman's carry gutbuster there from Darren Young. Oh, he's kicked out at 2.5. Thought that was going to be 3 there. Darren Young hitting his big maneuver on Drew McIntyre. McIntyre good enough to kick out as there's a side suplex there, taking down McIntyre once again. Primetime Playz heating up here. And now he's going to work down that arm. Submission hold applied. Now he's got a chokehold as well. But 3MB's Heath Slater is going to break that one up quite comfortably there. So no Jinder Mahal out there on the ringside, by the way. So I don't know where Jinder Mahal is this week. But not accompanying this tag team. Maybe perhaps Drew Mac and Heath Slater thought, you know what, we can do it ourselves this week. We don't need Drew McIntyre out here. I don't know. But, Heath Slater taking down Darren Young, of course, the workhorse of the team, Mr. No Days Off. And you can kind of feel as though primetime players are out here to prove a point. They're out here to really beat up 3AB, really send a message to the Shield and other tag teams that they do mean business. They lost at the Elimination Chamber, but they are back raring to go for WrestleMania 30. It's Drew McIntyre. He'll break that one up again. So, no luck there for the primetime players just quite yet. As Titus has Slater up. Oh, takes him down. So, oh wait, hang on. Rope break there. So, I mean, it really is kind of open, a bit of an open tournament, really. Anybody can really step up to be a part of this tournament. Like we discussed, there is no set teams just yet. And a week-by-week basis, we'll find out. So it's a bit of a, you'll check out the next episode and, you'll find out who exactly is going to be competing. We do have a lot of teams, and there's a lot of teams that we probably wouldn't expect to be a part of this tournament that perhaps wouldn't expect to be, tag team contenders, I should say, that could be a part of this tournament. So it is certainly an open kind of tournament, and let me know, guys, which teams you'd like to see be a part of this tournament, and we can certainly, I'll take your ideas into consideration. Perhaps in the next episode, you'll see that team a part of it. Obviously, I think the usuals. I mean, I think Awesome Riders have to be one of the favorites as well. Perhaps the Usos, the Wyatts as well. So there's a lot of good teams right now in the WWE that certainly could get an opportunity. So, we saw International Airstrike defeat the Matadors. Perhaps that was a bit of a qualifying matchup for this tournament, you could argue. So, I don't know, man. It's going to be very interesting to see what exactly happens. So, anything could really happen right now in this tournament. As a Donald stretch there to Drew McIntyre. Heath Slater breaks it up. So, primetime players certainly in control. Drew McIntyre trying to get back in this match. And, takes him down. Shoulders down on Drew McIntyre. That'll do it. That'll do it. 3 count there. Primetime players will progress in this tournament. They've done it again. And the millions of dollars. Primetime players, they've won this match and will advance in the WWE Tag Team Tournament #1 contendership. Who will be the #1 contenders for the Shield's Tag Team Championship? We are one step closer to finding out. Big victory there from the primetime players. And very interesting times ahead on Universe Mode right now. It's certainly up in the air on who's going to be where. So there's the graphic there. So Punjabi Cobra will face off against the primetime players in the second round. Obviously, there are 2 more matches need to be taking place in the first round. Then we'll have 2 second-round matches. And then, of course, the winners of those second-round matches will face off in the final. Who's going to be the #1 contenders? I don't know yet, but the primetime players certainly making a strong play for it. Guys, thanks very much for watching this episode of Universe Mode. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like. Of course, if you want to subscribe, that'd be fantastic as well. Make sure you leave the comments about everything I was discussing in the video, and I'll see you next episode of Universe Mode. Thanks, guys, for watching.